Ugumba Uche Nwosu, my wife and my daughter, and many other sympathizers were at the outing church service for his late mother that he buried a few days ago, when some policemen wearing hood walked into the church while the ceremony was going on and started shooting everywhere. And when my wife approached one of them to find out what is the reason, they literally pushed her down, pushed my daughter down, and went straight for Uche Nwosu and dragged him out, beating him up from the church, took him outside, and missed gunshots, periodic gunshots. Initially, we didn't believe that this could be an act of police, because to arrest somebody in a church while he's mourning the mother, I didn't believe that could have come from the police. And the manner in which he was arrested and the gunshots, only for us to find out from the plate numbers of the vehicle that they were from Government House, Imo State. So our suspicion was confirmed that the Imo State governor has embarked on such an act of hate and misrepresentation and misinformation concerning members of my family. Those who attended Uche Nwosu's burial, who are honorable members of Imo State government, were also suspended for attending Uche Nwosu's mother's burial. And the same group of men that he used in doing this dirty job is the same people that came for my arrest, that arrested me some time ago, and who threatened at that point to kill me. But shockingly enough, I also had to call the police commissioner of police, who has just recently confirmed to me a few hours ago that the order came from Abuja. So I wondered if this order actually came from the Inspector General of Police. And if it is, I'm sure the Inspector General of Police must have been misinformed. But I'm yet to see what kind of offense Uche Nwosu have committed to warrant this discretion of the church and sporadic shootings that has left a lot of people injured. I want to request for the first and last time that security agencies, presidency must look into what is happening in Imo State. This affair as it relates to the government of Imo State and members of my family. This family has gone through a lot, insult and humiliations and threat to life from the government of Imo State. But I'm yet to understand what must have informed the kind of level of misinformation that must have led the IG to give such directives. Because the IG, I know, wouldn't direct any policeman to go to church and shoot and arrest innocent citizens. I feel that enough of this is enough. And Hope Uzodinma has been in the business of trying to get any member of my family or myself involved in this kind of his wicked acts of hatred. Of recent, 2 of my security men, drivers, were arrested and kept by one gentleman, the man who uses in the Imo State Government House, called the SAS, one SP somebody. And these 2 young men had told me horror stories of what they saw. 60 days incarceration in the police SAS, and where they brought people every day and shoot them, asking them to, they must say that Rochas or any member of his family is involved in the insurgency in Imo State. I think enough of this is enough. And I've called all people's concerned on this matter. And I hate to make this very public, but I'm being tempted to say the facts as they are. If you hear the story of these young men on how people were shot before them, killed, and only for them to tell lies. And only a few days ago, the governor has said he's going to announce by 2nd January those who are behind the insecurity in Imo State. I'm sure this must be one of the steps he wants to take. This is him, knowing him, his style of constant lying on daily basis on issues which has resulted to bad governance in Imo State. But I don't want the police to get involved. I don't want the APC government led by Buhari to get involved in a matter like this that will tarnish the image of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The governor of Imo State is enough embarrassment to this nation and to democracy, and must never be allowed anymore to continue to have his way on some of this his wicked acts. Why should police go to the church to arrest people and arrest individual innocent person? What is the story they've written about him? I'm waiting to hear the story. I can assure you this will be a political motivated and cooked up story now they're going to come up with, which will also leave everyone in regret of the lies of this governor, who knows nothing but crookedness. Imo people are in so much pains because of one man, so much insecurity because of one man, bad governance because of one man, and because he feels he has the backing of the federal government or backing of the police or army or SSS, will lead him to do all this evil to mankind. I think Hope Uzoma must be called to order. He must stop this. This is one arrest too many, has led to me and members of my family. There was just no justifiable reason for the police to have gone into the church to carry on such shooting exercise. Even the security attached to my family could not, because they identified the policeman. Why go to the church? Why is the shooting? Why do you have to drag the innocent boy on the floor? Why do you have to beat him up? Why do you have to push my wife? Why do you have to push my daughter? Why have to tear their clothes? This is not what we asked for. But the good news, anyhow, is that I now know that Uche Nwosu is in the hands of the police. And the police will have to tell the world what Uche Nwosu has done to deserve this treatment, and why the church was put in disarray because of one arrest of innocent citizens. I'm waiting to hear what story that the government must have framed against Uche Nwosu. And I'm still waiting for him to make public. I challenge him to make public on 2nd those who are behind IPOB, or he should accept responsibility as being the person behind the insecurity in Imo State. Enough of this is enough of this in this country. And if somebody of my level in this country, a former governor, a sitting senator, will go through this kind of humiliation, I wonder what happens to ordinary citizens in Nigeria. This is wrong, and this must be condemned in its entirety. And I'm asking the police now to officially release the offense of Uche Nwosu and why the arrest in the church, so the world can understand what this family has done wrong or what Uche Nwosu has done wrong. They should not bring his local politics to bear on the image of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The same way he got me arrested, the same way he got the police to get me arrested. I got saved by just one single policeman who advised me to move into the police pickup quickly because the other was to shoot me. And yet nobody said anything about it. It took the intervention of President Mohamed Buhari at that time to get my release. But this evil must never be allowed to thrive anymore. And so Hope Uzodimma must be called to order and must stop this act of nonsense from now henceforth. He must stop it. His evil ways cannot thrive for too long. How can you disturb somebody's mother's burial? Suspend honorable members for attending somebody's burial? This is the greatest act of hate and wickedness that can be associated with anybody in power. Thank you.
Were there any arrest warrants presented, signed before this started?
There was no single arrest warrant on Uche Nwosu. Nothing at all. It was like a kidnap. If not for the fact that we have confirmed that it is police, the initial fear that this was unknown gunmen that has come to kill Uche Nwosu. But I don't know, the Uche Nwosu I know, I don't know what story will be fabricated against this young man, against this innocent citizen. But I'm yet, and if police found out that they have made mistake, they should tell the world so that they were misled by the government of Imo State and the governor of Imo State. Because the entire operation came from Imo State government house, and the same voice he has always used is the person. And I want to call now on the Inspector General of Police and the presidency to look into activities of the SARS in Imo State. Because the report I got from my security men that there were life witness to many people killed in the name of trying to find the truth of who can commit somebody, innocent person, to be part of the insurgency or insecurity problem in Imo State. Enough is enough.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming to this press conference. Imo State government is aware of the disgusting, very disgusting utterances that were made today by former governor of the state, Rochas, Okorocha. And it's marks of clear panic. It looks clearly to us that he's in a panic, in a frenzy. He's in a panic because it looks like the law is gradually closing in on him. And it's expected that he will panic because the guilty is always afraid. So one is not surprised the way he's talking incoherently. If you listen to him, you find a man who is panicking, talking very incoherently. First he says that police came into the church shooting, and then the wife approached police shooting, and she was not hurt. It doesn't make sense to anybody. And then he says that they saw government house vehicles, which confirmed that His Excellency Governor Uzodimma's hand was in the arrest. You know, but he didn't tell us which number. If he was sane enough and in a good state of mind, with all the sporadic shooting he claimed, to see government house number, he should have quoted at least one government house number, so that people can verify. In the same breath, he also says that he called the commissioner who said the order came from Abuja. Yet he's still accusing the state government. And then he's saying that the Inspector General of Police must have been misinformed. What is surprising is that if a man is innocent or feels no guilt, and the police has said that we are in custody of this man, the next thing is to allow the due process to follow. What is the haste in this press conference, trying to politicize an ordinary thing? Uche Nwosu is just an indigenous of Imo State and a citizen of Nigeria. And if he has run foul of the law, the police has every right to arrest him. And how they do it should not be, nobody should dictate to them how they do it. It depends on the gravity of the offense, and it depends on the information at their disposal. You know, you never can tell. Maybe they had that, maybe from there he's leaving for the airport going to, so they might decide to take necessary steps to make sure that they get him in their custody. But what is painful is that a former governor of this state, Rochas, Okorocha, is busy raining abuses on His Excellency, the governor of Imo State, and saying all manner of things about him. I don't want to join issues with him, and he's claiming that he doesn't know what he has done. He has not done anything except that he raped Imo State Treasury. He raped Imo State resources. He raped Imo State people and looted their common patrimony. If he's still lacking any evidence to that effect, they recently recovered the K.O. Mbadiwe University, built with over 40 billion of Imo State resources. Should be enough evidence. He should actually bury himself and his face in shame. And if he brings his family to it, then I say both himself and his family, they should bury their faces in shame. Because what they came to do in Imo State was to loot and steal the people's common patrimony. And because this government, ably headed by distinguished Senator Uzodimma, is a government that believes in due process, that is why he has been taking his time to be able to recover these things. Rochas never believed in due process. He never respected the rule of law. He demolished the house of Captain Iheanacho without any recourse to due process and without any apologies. And so many other ones he did. He took the laws into his hands. But this government is following due process. And that's why he can still talk. A man who committed such atrocious crime against Imo people, I'm surprised that, of course, if he has no shame, that's why he can still talk. Otherwise, the evidence is everywhere that he looted this state. He converted the land of Imo people to his private estate, converted even properties belonging to people, discredited the sanctity of our master plan. So many things that cannot be named. All these things are within the public glare. But because this government believes in due process, that's why he's walking about free and talking the way he's talking. However, I believe that no matter how slow the wheel of justice grinds, it will eventually and ultimately catch up with the guilty. And what former Governor Okorocha has done today is only to confirm once again that he is guilty. Otherwise, why the panic? First of all, they were the people who started spreading the news, the rumor that it was an abduction, gunmen. And then later on, shortly after that, you are now accusing the Imo State government. Even when you have confirmed in your own words that the Commissioner of Police confirmed to you that it was order from Abuja, from Inspector General of Police. What anybody who is not guilty and who is not in panic, all he's trying to do is to whip up unnecessary sentiment. But unfortunately for him, those days when he could take Imo people for a ride are gone. Because Imo people now know him as a man who came here and looted them dry. And honestly, in a civilized society, this man should not be walking about the streets free. He should not be talking the way he's talking. He should bury his face in shame, because he was a total disaster to Imo State. And that is why he's in a panic, because he doesn't know what next. If I were him, and if he's somebody who is sure of himself, what he should do is to wait for the due process of law to take its place. Thank God, nobody is taking the laws into his hands. If Uche Nwosu is guilty of anything, the police has arrested him. The next thing is the next step, and they find out why has he been arrested. And if he committed a crime, of course, he should face the wrath of the law, because he's not above the law. So, what is the point of trying to whip up sentiment that is sure that this is part of his plan to name him and his family as those behind the banditry in Imo State? He's already indicting himself. So that is why I say he is guilty, and he is in a panic. He's in a frenzy. He's in a panic because he is guilty. And anybody who is guilty, that's the first thing. The first reaction is to panic and begin to talk incoherently as he's talking. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to him as I have done, you will find that this man is in a panic and is talking incoherently, and that is not going to save. To stop the course of law to take its place. If Uche Nwosu is guilty of anything, the law will take its course. And if Okorocha is guilty of anything, the law will take its course. So all these ones is shouting, talking about this, it's not going to serve him. What he should do, and what anybody who loves him should do, is to say, let the rule of law take its course. Not to whip up sentiments, talking about a political this and that and that. If you politicize such a weighty thing, and mind you, for God's sake, we are facing a serious situation. The government has repeatedly said that the insecurity in the state is politically contrived. Assuming this is why Uche Nwosu is arrested, I don't know, because the police will tell us eventually. So is that what we should do politics with? We are talking of, all of you went the other day in Osu and saw what the carnage that we saw there. Assuming, for instance, that this is arrest has anything to do with it, for instance, I'm saying I don't know. Is that what anybody will come and trivialize by making it a political issue? So I think that the best advice I will give Rochas Okorocha is, yes, I know you are in a panic because you are guilty, but it won't help you. If you are guilty, you will face the law. And if Uche Nwosu is guilty, he will face the law. But if he is not guilty, and if nothing is found against him, of course, because we run a transparent, lawful government, he will be freed. So there is no cause for panic. At any event, why will government be involved in doing the work of the police? There's absolutely no reason for that. So I want to assure you, and I assure you more people, that the government has no hand whatsoever in the arrest of Uche Nwosu. The police merely did their job, which is what they should do. If they have reason to believe that anybody is a suspect of any form of crime, they should arrest the person. And that is what I think they have done. And the next thing is for us to wait and see the outcome of the arrest, and moving forward, what is the reason why he has been arrested. And until that is done, anybody who is trying to trivialize it or politicize it is in a panic. Because if you arrest me now, and I'm absolutely certain that I've committed no offense, all I will say is, let the law take its course. Any attempt by Okorocha and his likes to make a political issue out of an arrest is evidence of panic. Remember, just at that Nwosu's mother's burial, he was addressing youths. According to him, he said they should cease fire, that he knows their anger because of bad governance, that they should stop so far, they should cause no more problem. If you don't know those causing the problem, would you be addressing people in vacuum? He knew what those he was addressing. And so, understandably, he's in a panic, but that will not save him if he is guilty at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.